This morning, new developments in the apparent attack of actor and singer Jussie Smollett.
Let the injustice be solved and ended today.
Smollett reporting he was assaulted by two unknown offenders, and police now investigating it as a possible hate crime. According to authorities, the actor had just bought food at a Subway sandwich shop in downtown Chicago around 2 a.m. when two masked men approached him, yelling racial and homophobic slurs, and then began hitting him in the face and poured an unknown chemical substance on him, possibly bleach. Then he alleges one of the assailants wrapped a rope around his neck before running off.
He's supposed to be well-known requesting a report, and so the noose was placed over the friend's neck.
When police arrived, they say Smollett still had the rope around his neck. It's now being analyzed. Later, detectives say they again reached out to Smollett after seeing media reports claiming new details. In a follow-up interview, Smollett told them his attackers also yelled MAGA country, Make America Great Again, during the alleged assault. Hours earlier, Smollett had posted to his nearly 5 million Instagram followers that he was on his way to Chicago after his flight was delayed. The 36-year-old actor has been the target of threats before. Police confirming to ABC News a letter containing threatening language and laced with a powdery substance, likely Tylenol, was sent to Smollett at the Fox studio in Chicago just last week. The FBI is now investigating. Reaction to his story quickly hitting a nerve on social media. Stars like Viola Davis, John Legend, and Vivica Fox tweeting their support. Former Vice President Joe Biden weighing in, saying homophobia and racism have no place on our streets or in our hearts. We are with you, Jussie. Smollett, who publicly came out as gay in 2015, gained mainstream popularity on the hit drama Empire, appearing alongside actor Terrence Howard. Howard says the cast and crew of Empire learned about the attack on set.
Jaws dropped to the ground. And then when we learned that there had been letters that had been sent to Fox as threats about the potential of something like this, then we became much more frightened. I heard he's getting better. You know, he's angry, but I know Jussie. You know, Jussie's anger will dissipate, and he will forgive these people for what they did. But he won't, and we cannot forget their actions. They have to be forgiven, because it was done out of ignorance.
Dad, hey!
Empire co-creator and director Lee Daniels sharing this emotional reaction.
Jussie, you are my son. You didn't deserve, nor anybody deserves, to have a noose put around your neck. You are better than that. We are better than that. America is better than that. It starts at home. It starts at home, yo.
Hey everyone, I'm sure a lot of you are aware of the recent alleged attack that happened to Jussie Smollett a few nights ago in Chicago. Now, I've been really reluctant to even say anything about this incident. My cousin and I, the next morning, Tuesday morning, she texted me and she said, "Hey, did you hear what happened happened to Jussie?" And I had no idea what was going on. I was at work. I was so engaged in what I was doing. I had no idea. I hadn't been online at all. And so she told me about it. And of course, me wanting to believe that this happened, because I like Jussie. I really do. I followed him since he was, the first season of Empire, which I absolutely loved him on that first season. I don't watch it anymore because it's just way off base for me. It's just way out there, and I can't follow the story anymore. But anyway, I really dug Jussie's his character. And so when she told me, and I started to look into this and saw this outpouring of support. And then I started to read up on the details of what actually happened. And I have to admit, it started to sound very odd to me. I mean, this whole story is just bizarre. Now, my cousin and I, we're from Chicago. We grew up in Chicago, and we know it very, very well. And so to hear that Jussie went out at 2 a.m. to go get something to eat. Now, that's not unusual. Where he stays in Streeterville, there are a lot of bars, and it has a huge nightlife in that area. So it's not unusual for restaurants to be open at that time of night. That's not unusual. So when I heard that, that didn't stand out to me like it may have been for other people. But there are some things that was a little strange, including the fact that, so when he was attacked by two white guys in masks who was yelling out MAGA or had on the red hats, and they poured something on him and they put a noose around his neck. So the only thing I can conclude is that they were targeting him. You know, for him, who walks around with a rope and who walks around with bleach, and who's walking around with bleach on a night in Chicago in January when it's probably like 2 degrees or -5 degrees, right? So who would be doing that? So all I could figure or think about is that, you know, they had to be waiting on him, but how would they know he was going to come out, be hungry, come out of his house and go get something to eat? That's why it was all very, very bizarre. It's also being noted that he took himself to the hospital. Streeterville is very, very close to Northwestern Hospital, so it's not like he had to go very far. Matter of fact, he technically could have walked himself over there if he really wanted to. Now there's been some new information that's come out recently about this. So according to the NBC Chicago, police have in fact been able to see a couple of guys walking in the area on surveillance. So they have it on video because, you know, usually a lot of these big buildings have video surveillance. They also was able to actually see Jussie with this rope around his neck. It was almost like a necktie. They saw him on video with this thing around his neck. All right. I believe going into his building or something like that, or out, something like that. According to TMZ, there was a witness who wanted to remain anonymous, and she said that she did in fact witness a couple of guys in the area that seemed like they stood out a bit, that they didn't look like they were from the area. She said they were redneckish. One of the guys was like redneckish or whatever that means when she went out to take her dog out for a walk. And this was after midnight or so. So a lot of these things, for me personally, I'm just going to be honest. When I first heard this, the first thing I thought was this was a bad date gone wrong. That Jussie met somebody on Grindr or Tinder or whatever, and this is a date that went wrong and he was too embarrassed to admit it, or he got beat up by this person that he didn't know. That's the first thing I thought. I hate to say that, but I really did believe it. You know, and with all these other things coming out, I don't know what to believe. Perhaps this did happen. Matter of fact, I have to say, I hope it did happen, because I would hate to see that this guy is basically committing career suicide by making up some crazy tale of being attacked in the middle of the night, right? By two racist, homophobic white guys. I would really hate for his career to basically end over a lie or some kind of PR stunt. Because the first thing that Taraji P. Henson done when she sent out her prayers is to tell everybody to go download his song. I didn't even know he had a song out. And she wants everybody to make it go triple platinum. Well, again, I didn't even know he had a song out. And guess what? I'm sure people did go and download his song. So I really, really do hope for Jussie's sake that this isn't some kind of PR stunt gone wrong and that he's lying. Because just a few hours ago, it was said that he has refused to give up his phone to the police. So the police have been wanting to go through his phone to check his phone, and he won't give it to them. So you have to wonder what's going on there. So you guys let me know what you think. Do you think that Jussie, in fact, he was attacked? Or do you think that, this was a bad date gone wrong? Let me know what you think, because I have more questions than answers.